Good morning. I'm happy to see you whenever you're watching this. And you'll need a couple of blocks and possibly a blanket or something to sit on if you like to raise your hips, and a belt for the class today. So I'm going to focus. I have several props here. These are hearts I got in Mexico, in Oaxaca, a number of years ago, just before COVID, actually, when I could travel, and they're so beautiful, and they're quite useful objects for me because they remind me of the ethics of care and the heart chakra, and they also have a little bit of a meditative quality to them. You can kind of focus on these circles in the center. And I'm interested this morning in this sutra, which is 139 of the sutras, the yogic sutras. And it's of the mind. The mind is pacified by meditation upon anything you choose that appeals to you as elevating. Now, I'm just going to get us to sit now, and I will talk a little bit about a critique of that because I thought it was quite interesting. And it's we'll sit in with our feet together here, and once again, you can elevate your glutes, your buttocks, your behind slightly if you like, and that offers a little bit of an opportunity to tip your pelvis forward. And if we just sit like this, if you have difficulty with your pain in your legs or whatever, you can keep your knees raised with a block or cushions or whatever. And if you are able to, you can open your legs out, and you can see if you can open your feet up like a book. If you're not able to do that, that's not a problem. This is just one aspect of the posture. So you might be sitting like this with blocks underneath, which is fine. Or you might be sitting in a chair and just breathing, because we're going to begin by breathing, and we're inhaling and exhaling, and we're inhaling into our belly, and then our chest, and then our upper chest up to our collarbones. So we've got this lovely big space to fill up with air. We tend not to use all of our capacity for our breath. So doing yoga breathing is very useful in increasing that capacity. So let's just inhale. And then exhale. Inhale. And then exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So that we're inhaling from the bottom up and exhaling from the top down. Inhaling from the bottom up and exhaling from the top down. Inhaling from the bottom up and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And while I'm in this position, breathing, and you continue with your breath, I am having my mind's eye in this little third eye space, that little heart that was woven together by a woman in Oaxaca. And I have in my heart, in my mind's eye, the heart chakra, and ethics of care. And a sense that the ethics of care is, of course, has to do with self-care. We're all here on the mat caring for ourselves and working to develop our wellness and our sense of our own physical capacity, as well as our spiritual capacity, and our emotional. I think it's also we can help us develop emotional equilibrium on the mat. So we are interested in self-care, but also just as these hearts were made by this woman in Oaxaca, I want to really allow our hearts to open up to others outside of our intimate circles, and to think of the most incapacitated in the world in a way that allows us to feel centered in this moment and also open to extend our care far beyond the borders of our mat. And what we, the sutra, which basically says something like, there are various translations, when the mind waves are reduced, the mind appears to truthfully reflect any object that is directed toward, whether it be the perceived, the process of perceiving, or the perceiver. So this one critic says, that's not really, that doesn't really mean in contemporary terms that we should be focusing on our bank account or on our portfolio or on things that have to do with our own sort of self-aggrandizement, that we shouldn't be focusing on these matters of material wealth or whatever, that we should be focusing on something that is something beyond that sort of individualistic self-interest. And so that's why I decided today to focus on the heart chakra. And now we're just going to use our hands. We're going to lift our legs up, and we're going to extend them out. So we're going to do some seated postures here, and I'm going to invite you just to extend one leg out and put your strap around. I've got my left leg extended out. Well, it will be your left leg, and I'm just sitting in a kind of seated tree pose, and I'm just going to move forward with a straight back. Now, if you have osteoporosis or something like that, in these postures, you want to maintain your straight back. You don't really want to curve them over. So when we're doing cat-cow, I'd like you to just do work with your straight back. So you could do postures with your hands on a chair to maintain your straight back, etc. Now I'm just folding over with my back as straight as I can manage, and I am extending down. Now I have a sore knee, so I put something in between my legs. So you might, if you have any knee problems, this actually is very helpful. I put it behind my knee, in my bent knee, and that's very helpful. Okay, so now I'm just stretching forward. I'm going to stretch forward with the, and catch the outside of my foot. You could still be holding on to your strap if you like, and I'm really twisting this way towards that leg, and I'm slowly moving down. And we're going to do, we're going to hold here, as this is partially a yin practice, and I'm just going to time us for a few moments here. So if I'm looking at my watch, it's because I am timing us. And I'll just leave us here in with a thought about our breath, and that is that it is our breath that really helps us unite our monkey mind, that skittering, scattered series of thoughts that move through our head all day, thinking about this and that. Some of us are more disciplined than others. but I can tell you I have a very good monkey mind. So it's the breath that really helps us connect up that monkey mind with our body. And now I'm just, as I'm breathing here, I'm inhaling, and then I'm exhaling and feeling myself move forward. So my collarbone is actually moving towards my foot. The point of it is, and you can drop your head if that feels comfortable. If your neck feels uncomfortable, you could put a block on your leg and just support your neck. You don't want to feel any discomfort in your neck at all. So we're inhaling, and here we can really inhale into the back body. So we can imagine we're inhaling into the base of the spine. So this is all imaginary. We can imagine we're inhaling into the base of the spine, and then we're filling up the back body with air. So our lungs become like wings in the back, filling us up. And then we're exhaling from the top down as those wings deflate. And then we're filling up those wings that are sprouting from the back of our body. And then we're exhaling. And once again, we're filling us up. And then we are exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Now we're going to roll up. Or if you have osteoarthritis or something, you can just come up with a straight back. And now I'm going to lift that leg up, the bent leg, and stretch it out. And then I'm just going to pump my legs a little bit here, just to give them a little bit of relaxation. So we were there for about 3 minutes, I think. And now we're going to try the other leg and see what happens. And I'm drawing it out. And once again, you can prop up your leg if you need to. And otherwise, I am turning my body slightly towards that extended leg. In this case, it's your right leg. And I'm going to go down. Now, you'll want to feel here that you are really stretching through the heel, that you're extending your leg. It's actually quite a powerful pose. So it's not just a kind of a relaxed leg here, because this is yin yoga, which is about strength in part. So I am just moving slowly forward, and you'll notice you'll be asymmetrical. On one side, you'll be more supple and limber than another, possibly, as I am. So this side is much harder for me. So I'm at an age where I don't torment myself, but I do challenge myself. So I am going to move towards that foot. The collarbone, I have my back as straight as possible at this point, and I'm just moving my collarbone towards my toes. That's the image that I have. And I am really feeling this strength in my leg and in my glute, which is being affected by this posture. Now I'm going to use my opposite hand to hold on to the outer edge of that foot. And then I'm just going to round over my leg here and see how it feels. And we'll just stay here for another couple of minutes. And of course, come up if it's unbearable. You can come up and go back into it. You can come up and go into another posture. You can go onto your back on happy baby.
you could go into your front, into child's pose. And once again, we're breathing here. We're feeling the wings of our lungs in the back of our body fill up. And then we're feeling that lovely release. And we're feeling them fill up. And then we're feeling a beautiful release.
Well, it's coming up now and stretching my other leg out, and we're just going to pump our legs. Good. Now, I'm going to invite you to come onto your back, and you can have if you need a small, I have a small blanket for my head, just to keep my neck raised and my head raised slightly. We're just going to go onto our back, and this is not the most flattering view, but we're just going to open our legs up here and let them go out to the side. And now we're going to bring our legs back and have our feet together. Now you could do this against the wall if you like, and give yourself some support. But and you'll want to feel that you are capable of doing an inverted pose, because this pose does require you to put your head below your head below your limbs, and someone said it's like a waterfall. All of your blood rushing down to your head is like a waterfall. So I like that image of a waterfall. And here I'm just I'm not really straining here, but I am energizing my legs here. I'm not just letting them rest. I'm feeling the energy, and I'm pushing up through my heels, and then I'm pushing up through my toe mounds, as though I'm walking in dreaded high heels, which I loathe and don't wear. But so we're pushing up through your heels, and then we're pushing up through the toe mounds, and I'm spreading my toes. So while we're here, we've got some strength in our legs. We're doing an inversion, and we're also moving our toes. We're doing some joint mobility movements here. So we are wiggling our toes, and I'm pointing my toes, then I'm pressing out through my heels. I'm pointing my toes and pressing out through my heels. Pointing my toes and pressing out through my heels. And once again, I'm spreading my toes as wide as I can. And then I'm pointing my toes with my spreading toes. And then I'm bringing them back and forward into pointing, and back and forward. And now I'm going to rotate my ankles outwards. And I can hear the cracking. And then I'm going to rotate them the other way. And once again, the other way. And then back again. And now I'm going to point my toes, and then I'm going to turn my feet in. And then I'm going to point my toes and turn my feet out slightly. Now it's hard to do that without moving your hips. So it's just more of a gesture than anything. And if you get crampy toes, you can just grab your toes and fix them. I get very crampy toes. Okay, so now
Let's try some more of those ankle circles. Going one way and then the other. And then pointing with your heels and then your toes. Good. All right. Enough of that. So let's now, we can, with our strap, if it's nearby, it should be nearby, I'm going to take one leg and I'm going to open it up to the outside here. So on our back, we have our sacrum on the ground and our chest. We can have a blanket under our head if we want to raise our head up or give us a little bit of height here. And I'm just going to open out that left leg, it'll be your left leg, and drop it down here. So can't really see that, but I'll move this way now. So I'm just opening out my left leg and dropping it down. You could drop it down if you're near a wall. You could drop it down on a wall and use the wall to really help you. But this upper leg should be straight, and both of your sacrum should be on the ground. So you'll want to perhaps hook your. In this case, I've got my left leg that is falling towards the ground, and I'm using my right hand on my right hip crease to try and move that right hip down, and so you maintain a kind of balance here. And we're just going to stay for a little bit more here. Another minute, I think. And while I'm here, I'm working to maintain my breath, inhaling and exhaling, and to maintain a sense of an object, to find an object, a meaningful object for you. In this case, I'm focusing on my little hearts. And I'm thinking about care. And in particular, I'm thinking about my daughter who's going on a long trip. And I'm thinking about sending my heart with her to care from her from afar. And now we'll just raise that leg up. You can just raise it up to the top. And now we'll put the strap over the other foot and we'll lower that down. We will leave that foot up and we'll lower that one down. If this is too much for you, you can bend that extended leg and just put it on the ground, or you can extend it out on the ground. I like the sort of balance of this, the effort it takes to maintain the legs in this position. But you can decide what you want to do. A more conventional way of doing it would be with the leg extended on the floor. I'm pressing out through my heels. This is quite an active pose. And I'm breathing, and here my chest is quite open, and I'm expanding my ribs from the my belly, and then my ribs, my side ribs, and then the upper part of my chest, right up to under my arm. And then I'm exhaling. And I'm inhaling and I'm exhaling with this open heart. And while I'm here, I'm also thinking about other children and children who are suffering so grievously in Gaza at the moment. And I'm extending the merit of my practice out towards those children. And now we can bring that leg up. And we can draw our legs into our belly and give ourselves a warm embrace here. And now we can work our way up to with our arms, push ourselves up. And we'll just do a little boat pose here because we're in a pretty big spot for a boat pose. And it's quite a nice energizing pose here. I just have my feet on the ground, my knees are up, my back is straight, and we're doing work with our core here. So we've been on the floor, we've been supported quite a bit, although we've used our core with our legs. And we'll just you could hold on to your thighs and tip yourself back so that you're at an angle. And we will just you can lift one leg up, and then you can put it down, and you can lift the other leg up, and then you can put it down, and then the other one, and then at a certain moment, you can decide to lift both legs up. And then you can hold your arms out and just rest here. If this is too much, you can lower your legs down and just use your arms. Or you could use one leg. So you decide what you want to do. And if this is too much for your lower back, then come down. And then we'll just come down. And I'm going to fold over my legs and really feel that lovely rounding of the back, if that's available to you. And now I'm going to lift up again into bow and just work here. And here I'm breathing, inhaling, and I'm exhaling. And I'm inhaling, and I'm exhaling. And I'm inhaling, and I'm going to come down. Good. Once again, I'm just going to curve over and do a little bit of a counter pose here. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Good. And now we're going to just do a little bit of a twist here. So I'm going to extend my right leg out, your right leg, and I'm going to cross over my left foot on the outer part of the thigh, and then you can leave your bottom legs extended, or you can draw it in. And we've been doing some core work, and now we're going to do a twist. So I'm just extending my arms straight up and twisting over to the side here. And I'm looking to the back wall. And when I'm twisting from the hara, or the solar plexus, about an inch or so below the belly button. You can start your twist there.
So you're not just twisting your upper spine, you're twisting from the base of your spine here. And we are turning and feeling that twist. And we're going to just stay in this position for a couple of minutes. I'm just going to, so in here, we have an opportunity to use our breath in this posture and focus on our breath, on our inhalation and exhalation, and on the opening of our heart chakra as we're moving around. And we can use our back hand to provide a little bit of turning here. And we're inhaling and exhaling. If you find it difficult with your arm in front of your thigh, you can hold on to your knee with your arm. And now we're going to come back, turn back, and we'll just do a slight movement in the other direction, just a little bit of a counter movement. Good. Now we're going to just stretch our legs out, and we can just pump our legs a little, just to make them feel happier. So, and once again, we're going to, I'm going to extend, you can extend your left leg out, and I'm lifting up my right and putting my foot along the side of my thigh, and then I'm bending the bottom leg in to the hip, and I'm lifting up the opposite arm. So in this case, it would be your right arm, and turning once again from the solar plexus, from lower down in the belly. And so we're moving from the lower spine, and we are just moving around and really feeling that lovely extension. So we're moving up and around. So with every inhalation, we're moving up and around. So it's a double movement. We're not just moving around. We feel our spine extending up, lifting up. Remember those wings we had in the back of our lungs? We're lifting up with those wings. We're inhaling, lifting up, and moving around. And now we're turning around again and letting our body find a bit of oppositional pull by turning towards the opposite side and feeling once again our spine extend up and around. And now we're coming back and we'll just extend our legs out here and pump them a little, shake them out. Now we're going to work on back bend. We've done a twist, we've done some forward bends, and we're going to work on back bend in our dragon and our pigeon pose. So these are slight back bends in those poses, and they also in yin it's swan or sleeping swan, so there's a forward movement in it as well. All right, so I have my legs extended, and I'm just going to move around so that my right leg is extended in front, and your right leg is extended in front, and then I'm just extending my other leg back. Now we're going to do a little bit of a introduction to this pose by seeing if we can at first extend our leg out. So we have our front leg. We have it, the foot is flexed in the front, and the back leg is extended out, but I want us just to extend out sideways, pressing out through our foot, so that we're actually extending that leg out with the side body here. And this is just allowing us to open up our leg a little bit. Eventually, in a minute, we're just going to turn our leg to the front, but maybe I can show it to you here. So we're just like this with this leg extended out, and I'm straightening it here, and I'm just stretching it out in the side. And this leg is on an angle, the front leg. And now I'm just going to rotate over, and I'm going to extend that foot out so that my back foot is on the front of it, and the pigeon, the front pigeon or the swan is open here. Now you can, if you like, put a block or something under that hip if you need some support, or a blanket, or you can just allow it to extend down. Now this is a very good stretch for the hip flexor, and if it's too uncomfortable, do provide some support for yourself. And here I'm just pressing into the floor and feeling the arch of my back, that this is a nice, really nice back bend. And it's very manageable because you can manage the, you can put your legs out, your arms out, and you can dictate the terms of your back bend here. And if we stay for a couple of minutes, that's going to be enough. Now, if you like, you can come down to your forearms, and this becomes more of a forward bend here. For the minute, I'm going to stay up. And then I'm going to come down. So I'm going to really focus. I'm going to bend my elbows and feel as I bend my elbows that I've got an ability to adjust my back bend. And I can really feel my my back stretching here, opening, my chest opening up. And once again, I have my foot flexed. And now I'm going to come down onto my elbows. And then I'm going to, you can move further down. You can put your hands on your hands underneath your forehead, or I'm just going to stay up in my elbows today.
Once again, we're breathing here. We're breathing into our back body, and we're feeling a real sense of release. And as you breathe, you may find you can go down lower, and it's more comfortable for you to actually move into sleeping swan, which is with your arms extended out. Come back, press up into upright swan. And once again, you can have your head up, or you can leave it low. I tend to have a lot of neck aches, and I've been keeping my head in relation with the spine, just as an extension of the spine, but also not looking up as much as I have in the past. So now I'm just dropping back into that hip, and I'm just going to lift that back leg up and turn it around and move it to the front here. And we're just going to go back into that swan again, with once again that front, that the front leg is at an angle of your choice. And then the back, I'm just going to put, once again, I'm going to just open that leg up so that my foot is on the side. So I'm just allowing myself to extend that leg before I go into the swan. It's actually quite useful. I just took a workshop on back bends, and it's quite useful to do this sort of side extension at the very beginning. And you can use your arm if you like, and just circle your arm around here and allow that back leg that's straight and on the side to really open before you move into the swan. So I'm just using my arm just to give myself a little more mobility here. And now I'm going to turn over to the front of my back leg extended and onto the front of my foot with my all of my toes on the ground here. And I have my front leg at an angle, and I'm just going to feel myself pressing up. And once again, if you need a block, just insert that block or blanket underneath your hip, and it will take some of the pressure off of it. And you can just feel your chest, your collarbone lifting up, and your back is in a lovely position here. Now you can remove the block if you like. You want a bigger sort of stretch in your glute. So this is opening up your front hip flexor on your right leg and opening up your left glute. And once again, we can stay here in this back bend, and we can then move forward onto our forearms if we like. And once again, you can keep your head in line with the spine, or you can drop it down, whatever feels good for you. And at another moment, you're working towards potentially extending your arms out in front of you. This may be where you go. You find your own edge. This yin yoga practice is about resilience, but it's not about pain. So if you're feeling pain at all, you should come up. If you're feeling discomfort, that's probably as it should be, because the discomfort is how we find our edge. We'll move towards the edge, and then we may come up again for a moment. And then we'll move down towards our edge, and then we might come up again. You might find that our breath, modulating our breath, will allow us to move deeper into the pose. So we're going to inhale into our back body, into those wings. And then we're going to exhale and feel ourselves extend forward and down perhaps. And then we're going to inhale
And then we're going to exhale and feel ourselves extend forward and down. Inhale, exhaling, forward and down. And if you feel like it, you can come all the way down if you like. Your forehead on the ground, your arms extended. If you need some support, you can certainly develop some support for your arms. And there's no absolute position in this pose. And now we're going to inhale, push our hands into the ground, back into that lovely back bend. And then we can just come up, fold over onto that hip, and bring our legs around to the front, and we can shape them up. Now we're going to go into dragon and a variation on dragon. And this is just a lovely pose that is similar to pigeon, but it is, you move into it from a low lunge. So we'll move, we'll put our front foot in, our right foot in front. We'll extend our left foot to the back, and we will come up and just feel that we are moving that back foot into a low lunge. And we can just, if we like, we can just rest here with our knee up, and then we can lower that leg. And here, we'll, with our knee lowered, or you can keep it raised if you like, we're just going to move into the inside. You can drop that right knee out if you like, and lift the inner part of the foot up as you extend your forearms down to the ground on the inside of that foot. And if you like, you can lift up that back leg into what's called a dragon or a lizard in Hatha yoga. I'm going to put my knee down, and here you can rest your head on your hands if you like, and we're going to be here for a moment or so. Once again, you can use your breath to help you relax into the pose. If you feel pain in your knee, you should really come out of it. You don't want to damage your knee at all. And once again, you have your foot flexed. In your bent knee, your foot is flexed on the ground. So that helps to protect your knee. You can try coming up on the back foot, lifting your leg for a moment. You can come down. Now I'm going to come back up onto my hands here, and I'm going to put that front foot down, and I'm just going to rest here. You can lift that back leg up and hold on to it with your opposite foot, if you can manage that. And rest here. And then you can come down, and we're going to press back, lifting that front heel up with the leg extended in a lovely oppositional position. And I am just going to bow my head over my leg and marvel at my body that can move. It doesn't move as well as it did when I was younger, but it moves and it breathes. Feels sensation and pleasure and discomfort. And here I'm just extending the hamstrings here.
draw that leg in and move it to the back. And I'm going to do just do some comfortable cat-cows here as a kind of transition to the other side. So we're just going to drop our chest, our belly button to the floor, to the ground. Feel our belly button attached to some tree root. And we're just really feeling that lovely cow pose with our belly button extending to a tree root. And now we're going to draw our belly button up into our spine. We're really going to suck that belly button into the back of our spine. And we're just breathing here into the wings of our back lungs. And we're going to extend it down into cow. And we're going to exhale as we come up and inhale deeply as we open our chest. And we're going to go back into cat, exhaling, and then extend our chest and inhale in cow. Good. And one last time, exhaling and inhaling. Good. Now we want to do the opposite leg and bring the opposite leg forward. So I'm going to bring your left leg forward, and I'm going to extend my right leg back and settle the top of my foot down into a low lunge. I'm going to lift that knee up for a moment just to get a sense of that extension in the back. So that what happens when I extend my back heel, my leg opens up and stretches. And then I'm going to lower that knee down and extend the top of the foot down. And now I have your left knee bent at the front. I'm just going to move down onto my forearms here if I can, or you can stay up, whatever you feel like. And here I can open out that knee a bit, but I still have my foot flexed. That's really important to keep your front foot flexed. And I'm just feeling the opening of that hip flexor and of that glute. So you feel your right hip flexor opening up and your left glute being stretched through your bent knee. And I'm just going to get a block here and use it to support my head. And now I'm going to push myself back up. And I'm going to try that rather torturous movement of catching your back leg with your opposite arm. I'm not sure I can do it. You can use the strap here, of course, to hold on to your back leg. And I am just breathing through the opening of my front thigh and trying to, it's a back bend, so I'm trying to pull myself up into a back bend. And you'll know when it's time to come down. So we're going to come down here, drop that leg, and we're just going to move back and extend that front leg out, extending through the heel and just working to move over. You can see if you can extend your collarbone to your toe. So you're actually moving your front chest towards your toe here.
just stay a minute or so here. And we can do a little bit of movement here. So we can move forward onto our foot, stretching once again through our hip flexor on the opposite leg. And then we can move back. And then we move forward. And we'll move back. Forward. And back. Forward. And one last time. There we go. Okay. Now, so maybe we should just come to stand for a moment at the end of the class. If you're up for it, perhaps it's a bit much and you just rather stay on the ground. You can stay on the ground however you like, but I'd like us to do a little bit of movement before we are finished our class, which is just in a moment. And I'd just like us to do some movement with our upper body, because we haven't done a lot of movement with our upper body. So we're just going to use our hands here to kind of just feel like we're once again opening that heart chakra up, looking up, and then we're going to open our arms back down. And once again, we're opening our arms up and looking up, and then we're stretching our arms out and back down. And then we're opening our arms up and looking up and stretching our arms back down. And we're just going to move one arm, drop one arm along our thigh and move the other one over, and then the other way. So we're just going to do a few of these movements just to have our upper body stretching, opening, our heart chakra really opening up. And we can just stretch our arms, both arms up, and do a little bit of a standing back bend here. And then we can fold over with a straight back, arms and extended out to our feet here. And we can lift halfway up. And then we can extend ourselves and drop ourselves down into a forward fold and extend our arms out. We'll just rest here for a moment. Inhaling and exhaling, feeling once again the open back body, the wings of our lungs and our back, extending as we breathe in, and then deflating as we exhale. And now we're going to keep our arms by our ears, our arms by our ears straight, and we're just going to open up and stand up and stretch up, and then bend back with our arms opened up. And then we're going to open out our arms again. Okay, lovely. All right, so now I think it's time. I'm just moving my arms in a kind of wild woman's way. We can stand out into goddess pose for a moment with our legs in a wide stretch here. And we're just, and I'm just lightly moving up and down, just settling into the pose really. And now I'm going to feel the outside of my lips rise up into a big smile as I can feel the kind of jolly jumper movement in my body. Oops, from childhood. And you don't want to do this, you don't want to injure yourself, so you just do it gently. And I'm just going to extend my arms out and then up. And then I'm going to extend them down into a kind of stop sign here and turn the hands in. And I'm just resting here I'm just stabilizing here and balancing in this lovely pose. Feeling the strength of my legs, feeling my feet hit into the ground, like they're just grounding, like they're bridge posts. And the upper arms, my chest is open here. I'm opening my chest. And then I'm going to bring my arms back, clasp my fingers, and draw forward. Feeling the open chest once again, feeling my balance. And then I'm going to let my arms go. And I'm going to put my hands down, straighten my legs, extend my arms out, and lift up. Good. I'm going to roll my shoulders around, wiggle my fingers, and I'm going to move back and forth here, wiggling my fingers here. Just developing more mobility in my lower joints and in my fingers and in my wrists. This is a kind of mad gesture pose, but I really want to be mobile late into my life. And this helps. Okay, so we're going to just come up and bring our feet in. And we're going to settle into our mat for final relaxation. So I just want you to feel really wonderfully relaxed on the ground at this point. And you can lift your hips up if you like with a block and do a little bit of a subtle back bend here while you're resting. Or you can just rest on the floor. You can keep your legs bent here. You do what you like. You can have your legs up the wall. We'll have a short shavasana. And I'm just going to invite you to settle down, settle your body down. I'm a bit breathless after that wild goddess pose and variations. But I am just going to feel my legs stretch out. My legs are sort of hip width, my feet are hip width apart. And I feel a real sense of release in my lower body, in my upper body. I'm jiggling a little to settle into the mat. And I'm feeling my palms facing up to the ceiling. And my breath is finally finding its way into a regular pattern. I feel the skin on my face relaxing and on my skull. I feel my mouth open slightly and my tongue drop to the lower jaw. And my breath is coming easily. And I'm imagining that waterfall I experienced when I had both of my legs up and was feeling that inversion, that now I'm stretched out in a very shallow pool at the bottom of that waterfall, far enough away so that the water is very calm. And I'm just floating, suspended in the moment. My heart open, giving and receiving love, relishing this moment, being in the present with all of you. And I'll just leave you in silence for a moment. Poem of One World. This morning, the beautiful white heron was floating along above the water, and then into the sky of this, the one world we all belong to, where everything, sooner or later, is part of everything else, which thought made me feel for a little while quite beautiful myself. This morning, the beautiful white heron was floating along above the water, and then into the sky of this, the one world we all belong to, where everything, sooner or later, is part of everything else, which thought made me feel for a little while quite beautiful myself. And that poem is Poem of One World by Mary Oliver in her 1,000 Mornings collection. So with that, I'll invite you to feel the tingling in your extremities, in your toes, and in your fingers. You can flutter like a bird, like a beautiful heron. You can move your legs and your arms, the wings of your lungs. And when you're ready, you can clasp your knees, rock back and forth. If you feel like stretching out and staying where you are, that's perfectly fine. Or you can roll to one side, push yourself up, and greet the day again. And I'm going to thank you, thank you, thank you. The teacher in me salutes and honors the teacher in you, and the student in me honors the student in you. I dedicate the merit of this practice to the children of Gaza. Thank you, thank you.